English or Thai? English, if possible.
ก็ Google Cloud DNS ย่อมาจากdomain name system. When you browse to any web domain, actually, if you translate to number, for example, google.com is IP address is like this, but actually there are so many thousand, 10,000 or 100,000 number, but this is temporary number. When you browse to google.com, it translates to number. The first time of internet, we can browse by the number, but right now no one can remember the number. So that is the beauty of DNS. You right now can remember only the name. It will redirect to the number automatically. And Google Cloud DNS is for workload of million or more than a million queries per second.
Alright, stop. Does anyone still not know what a DNS is? Understand what DNS is? When the internet was first born, there was no gopomolo.com. It was just a series of numbers, which is not very nice to remember. Actually, it still is a serial to a website that's looking up an IP address. But behind that is a DNS system that holds a record of all the names of the website addresses. Right? If you have a subdomain, like cloud.google.com, that's a DNS record that says, hey, go to this address, go to this number when somebody types in this word. It's translating words into numbers, basically. So in GoPomolo, we have a DNS record. We have about 100 DNS records under gopomolo.com because we have lots of subdomains. You see some of our pilot test domains. We have like poc.gopomolo.com. We have what's called records that tell us if someone emails scott@gopomolo.com, where does it go? Well, the DNS tells it that it's going to go to Google. We set an MX record to do that. So a DNS has a whole set of records that tell the internet where they should go, depending on what they're doing, whether it's email, whether it's a website, whether it's something. I hope that's clear. Up to you, Google.
If you have a question that if you want the name of your name published in the internet, the first is register your name with the registrar. Any registrar such as .com, .com, Namecheap, or .ally.com. Some country with some name .co.th registrar is in Thailand only, but .com you can register with any registrar. This means you pay for registrar and redirect on query of your name to the Google. Google is for very high query workload. For example, YouTube.com, there are so many IP addresses around the world, and YouTube.com will translate the nearest server to the user, the nearest IP address, so you can browse the video quicker than other region. So let the Google provider infra is now available and easy publish within a minute. When you publish your name, sunshine@gopomolo.com, allow the video only in 1 minute. Why Google DNS? Why Google Cloud DNS? Because it's scalable. can support 10 billion queries. Low latency means quick. Some customers may have 10 domains and within internal DNS of this Thailand slow latency and other countries don't know this name. So we suggest to move every query to the Google DNS so that every country around the world can query this name quicker, low latency, and guarantee 100% availability, so no downtime. Fast Anycast means if you have more and more servers around, the DNS of Google can redirect the name to the nearest server. It can find automatically the nearest server for you, so you can browse the web faster. And DNS can be managed through API. API means you can use application programming interface. API is application. มีใครไม่รู้ Okay. And note that the cloud DNS is for externally, not internal.
So, there's a lot of confused people here, you can tell. I think technically we don't have to go too deep on this, but what we'd like to make sure you guys have is understanding of, first of all, what a DNS is and why you would choose Google and not somewhere else. So, has anyone here bought a domain name? Okay. Yeah? Where would you go to do that? Usually GoDaddy. GoDaddy is the famous one. You go buy your domain, right? GoDaddy is a registrar. That means they have agreements with a lot of like the governance of internet to purchase and resell domains. That's what they do. They also, at the same time, provide a DNS service, which means that if you buy a domain from GoDaddy, and this is exactly what GoPomelo was until about 2 weeks ago, and somebody goes to gopomelo.com, that web page is looking up the GoDaddy registrar DNS and deciding, okay, where do I go next? I go to this server, right? Sometimes, and a lot of times, people in Thailand would buy it from a Thai-based registrar. If you're .co.th, you have to, by the law, buy it from a Thai registrar. They also provide DNS. Not such a great service, right? If you're accessing that website from the US, it's effectively coming into Thailand, checking on that server, where is it located, and then going. So that is providing us with not such a great system, and often we're getting support cases from our customers saying, hey, my emails didn't arrive, what's going on? A lot of the time, it's not because Google doesn't work, it's because their DNS service is down, right? It's trying to look up where does this email go, and they're not getting a response from the DNS service, right? So that's the value here. 100% availability SLA. There is no DNS service. I don't know, is there anybody else in the world who provides this? I'm not sure. Definitely not in Thailand. You'll get that 100% guarantee. If you're a big company like, I don't know, KBank, and you've got millions of people accessing your apps, your website, and all of this, you want that guaranteed, right? You don't want to be down. You don't want to have issues or a risk that you're going to be down. So this is where Google Cloud DNS comes in, right? You're getting that 100% uptime, scalability. Where was it here? Millions of DNS records. On our GoDaddy DNS, I think there was a maximum of, is it 100? Yeah, it's 100, and then they're like, no, sorry, no more. So you have to delete some to put some in. Well, that's unacceptable if you're a big company and you have a lot of activity and a lot of subdomains and a lot of, right? this really is applicable to large, doesn't have to be large, but definitely this is value for large enterprise. Okay? That kind of made things clearer?
Mm-hmm.
Pricing. So how much does it cost to Google? Well, there you go. This is your last one. Explain what this means.
I think it's very cheap. Many companies allow this per month. For example, people allow this country search for coppermiller.com. Now seeing the website of us, no, should be allowed 2 billion only, but we can support 1 billion only $0 per month.
Just explain, what is a query? What is a query?
What is one query?
Yeah.
Means every web browsing, when you type in the browser coppermiller.com, it will query to the DNS first, respond back the number. Browser do it automatically. When it responds back the number, and this number point to the real server, the content of web return back to us. This query means one time. When we browse the coppermiller, it will point to the DNS first, respond back. This means one query.
What if I click on a link in the website? One more query?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Send me an email, one query.
Yeah, one query.
So, okay.
Another next billion cheaper plus 0.2. Another 0.2.
What are managed zones?
This means if you have 3 billion, it should be $1.
What is a managed zone?
Managed zone means one domain name. For example, google.com one managed zone. .info to managed zone.
So, but a subdomain isn't a zone.
It's one zone.
GoPomelo.com and all of its subdomains is one zone.
Yes. So what is the cost for GoPomelo?
Right now.
Yeah.
Less than one.
That's the one, right?
Dollar.
Less than $1.
Per month.
So the cost on Google is really, we're talking like a few dollars a month.
Even for huge enterprises.
Yeah, I mean, to calculate, you would go, okay, how many queries is in here? And then plus how many zones. So right now, I think GoPomelo is sitting at this plus this, so 60 cents a month. Yeah, so nothing, right? However, if you host your DNS with GoDaddy or any of these other people, they don't actually charge for that. It's a little bit, but it's a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Sunshine. Any questions on like what is DNS before I go to our services, which are not free or 60 cents? No? Okay. I told Sunshine he was doing this 5 minutes ago, so as usual. So we have a service, and this service is essentially moving from an old DNS to Google's DNS, right? If a company were to undertake this, it's quite a scary thing, because I use the KBank example. If you were to migrate your DNS to Google Cloud, you've got to make sure that you have zero downtime on your applications. You've got to make sure that when you switch over, it's going to work and your customers can access applications and your employees can too. We are assuming that a lot of our customers don't want to do that themselves because they're scared that they'll screw it up, right? Well, we can offer a service to do that. So here's a breakdown of exactly what we would do. We'll set up a cloud console and set up IAM configuration. Those of us that have done cloud platform training, IAM is essentially permissions, right? You don't want anybody to access your cloud DNS settings. So we work with the customer to understand who can access, what is their permission level as well. We'll migrate their DNS records from the old server to the new. We will verify that it's all working, and then we'll switch over. And then also we're going to provide ongoing services. So let's say that a customer says, hey, we've got a new subdomain, we want you to set it up for us, then we'll do that for them as well. And here's a breakdown of what we would do. So this is the same as the slide before. And here we've broken it down into small, medium, and large. So small is around 50 DNS records they currently have. Most companies would be around this. Small, medium-sized companies would have a DNS of around 50 or below. Then we're going essentially 50 to 200, and then large is 200 and up. And then there's a pricing for setup and the ongoing support. Easy.
Is say they fit the small bracket and they get to the medium part, are we then having to go back and say, okay, you need to upgrade your package here?
Yes, correct. Good question. Yeah. I mean, that's a sales conversation. We can be flexible. Yeah. Right. Sorry, this was probably not supposed to be in there. And then there's the conditions. That's pretty much it. So maybe we'll go back to this one so we can have a look at it again. Any questions on the packages?
Would we offer like a service to help them structure their DNSs? So, for instance, that the wording makes sense?
You mean of the domain names and stuff? Maybe, I don't know if that would ever arise. I think we'd usually see that they have an existing DNS, and to mess with that would create all sorts of problems on applications and setup and everything like that. So that's really the customers, that's up to them, however they want to structure like naming conventions and stuff. Is that what you mean, naming conventions? Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably stay away from that. Yeah, that gets messy. We're literally going, what is there currently, migrated across, switch. Yeah.
For the ongoing DNS management.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I mean, what are some things that would cover, and what would maybe be things that would be out of scope of the ongoing DNS management?
So in scope is, hey, we're moving our email records for you to update our MX records, or we would like to set up a subdomain to do some testing. Can you set that up on the DNS? Out of scope, hey, my website doesn't work. Can you check if it's the DNS? We're not going to go onto the website and check that website, what's going on. We're just going to show, yes, the DNS is set up. Yeah. It's a good question. We're going to find out as we go along. Right? I'd really like some feedback from you guys on questions that come around when you show this to customers. Like, they're probably going to think of stuff that we didn't. This is a first launch.
Yeah.
We're going to shape it as we go along. As you can see on these are quite short. I'm happy to add more conditions here.
So I know in the past, a lot of customers have, we'll talk to them and they want to set up a new domain.
Yeah.
They would say, can I buy a domain through you?
Right.
We're still staying away from that.
So we are. Google, you can buy domains direct from Google, only if in the US, UK, maybe India for some reason, not in this region. So Google are only offering that if you were to log and buy G Suite at the same time. So the customer still has to buy their domain from a GoDaddy or from somewhere else, and then they forward the DNS service. So they are still paying for the registration of their domain at their provider. They're just removing the DNS service to Google. Okay. Let's see how that goes. I'm really interested in feedback. If you're talking to customers, let me know if there's questions, if we need to change this and shape it a bit more, add some more terms, add some more conditions. Great, no problem. I've posted this deck on Workplace. You should all have access to it. Songchai is your TAM for any cloud DNS opportunities. Questions? Well, thanks for listening. Enjoy your day. Cheers.